So without further ado, I want to introduce our keynote speaker for the night. It's my distinct honor to introduce Professor Nura Mohamed. Prof, when I grow up, I want to be called a prof, who is the Director General of the Kenya School of Government. Professor Mohamed is a leader who has consistently dedicated his career to the advancement and transformation of the public sector in Kenya and beyond. At the helm of the Kenya School of Government, he oversees long-term strategic direction and day-to-day management across finance, information technology, human resources, administration, among others, and ensuring institutional growth and effectiveness in shaping the nation's public service, which is what I try to emphasize today. Professor Mohamed holds a Ph.D. in economics from the Central University of Finance and Economics in China, alongside an MBA and a Bachelor of Commerce in Finance from the University of Nairobi, which is also my alma mater. With over 23 years of experience in public sector reforms, performing management, finance, audit, and planning, he is widely recognized as an expert in driving impactful government reforms. His wealth of experience includes transformative roles such as his tenure as Director of Finance and Administration at Zanzibar University in Tanzania, where he successfully led a major institutional reform and transformation. In addition to his work as an advisor, consultant, and researcher, Professor Mohamed is a passionate teacher specializing in public sector finance, transformational leadership, governance, and management. His research interests span public finance, performance management, and knowledge management, reflecting his commitment to advancing public sector excellence. In recognition of his contributions, he was awarded the honor of Elder of Burning Spear, EBS, by His Excellency the President. It is truly an honor to have Prof with us tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming our guest tonight, Ms. Professor Mohamed. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Chairman. As in the public service, even if you have a gadget like this and you have a speech here, you must read from, a note, because that is a tradition in the public service. Let me start by appreciating the invite by our Chairperson, Institute of Customer Service Experience, Kenya Board, Mr. Joseph Choge, members of the Institute Customer Service Experience, Kenya Board, the Service Excellence Award judges, esteemed guests, distinguished nominees, great people, good evening. If it's a church, I would have said today is the day the Lord has made. But I'm sure this is not church, so I will not go that direction. But let me appreciate our chair by inviting a public servant to speak in a private, sector-driven agenda, which is Customer Service Excellence Award. The moment we hear of excellence, that is a buzzword in the private sector. But as the chair said, even the public sector, we are now taking up this aspect of the customer service excellence. Today, I want to compare the happenings in the private sector and also in the public sector, and how then we in the public sector, because 24 years of my life, I was and I still am in the public sector, so I will give an experience of the public sector experience, which then will also help you to reflect and learn what are some of the challenges that then make it difficult for customer service to be experienced in a way that you guys in the private sector experience. What is then the difference between all this? I take this opportunity to again appreciate this wonderful institution, and it is indeed an honor and privilege to address this distinguished gathering of professionals from both private sector and public sector. Convening here is indeed a true commitment, advancing the way we serve our customers. And that is why I'm saying I will speak to the private sector as well as also the public sector. I would like to, from the onset, commend the organizers of this significant event, that is the Institute of Customer Service Experience Kenya, which continues to champion excellence in different sectors and industries, raising the profile of the customer service in the country for the past 13 years, which we really appreciate, and that has led to the excellence in terms of satisfaction, organizational growth, improved services, and that indeed is a testament of an unwavering dedication to the important cause that we have. Then in the private sector, what we used to have, and that is again a bit of a challenge that I want us to reflect on. One challenge we had in the past, I want us to connect the past, the present, and the future in terms of customer service excellence. In the past, in the private sector, public sector, we used to refer to the public servant as a bunch of hardworking people who are trapped in a dysfunctional system producing invisible things for people who don't want even those kind of services. You are producing and it is invisible. You can't see what you are producing. You don't even know you are producing for who, but they are a bunch of hardworking people. The only challenge we had then was that we are trapped in a dysfunctional system. You don't know where to start, where to end. You do for who, and even the programs such as this that you have, we used to have those kind of a program. And the title itself is such a weird title. It's called Customer Care and Public Relation. Let me tell you, even in that program, you act. There's no sense of, appreciating the customer experience at that time. We used to act. There's this culture I started my career as a banker. Actually, at that time referred to as a backless bank. Now I think it's APSA. Way back, many years back. I don't want to say here how many years back. But many years back, I started as a banker. But then, probably for me, public service was and still is a calling because I wanted to serve. So I left backless. I didn't resign, I walked away. I just one day decided not to go. So I don't know what happened, but I think I realized that was not my calling. So I just left. But at that time then, we used to, the bank used to instill in us this customer service experience, how to serve, how to smile, how to say all those words, which you must, in some cases, those days you must cram. You must cram. My name is Nura Mohamed, blah, blah, blah. This is the department, blah. How can I help you? Those kind of things. But me, I think at that time I got bored. I said, I think I can't fit here. And that is why I left. But, private sector is the difference, and that is what I'm going to explain to you now. The difference between the private sector and the public sector. That in the private sector, that culture has been institutionalized until it became part of you. And so therefore then, from the beginning, the excellence is a virtue, is a value. You live those values. But in the public service, for quite a number of years, until just the other day, those values, we don't live them, but we pin them on the wall. If you visit any public institution, we are very good in framing our values. I'm sure you saw those values. Vision, mission, core values. Just visit any ministry, state department, or any state corporation, you see those things. If you just ask a lady at the reception where those things are hanged normally, ask the lady there. By the way, what is the vision of this state department? She will not remember. And then all of a sudden she will just say that, yes, it is there. If you want to read, you can read it. Because we don't live those values those days. We hang them. We look at them. It's a decoration. So at the end, nobody remembers. So it's a culture. One challenge that we had in the public service, which now we at the Kenya School of Government trying to change, is the challenge of culture in the public service. You know, wherever we introduce the change in the public service, you are not meant to change. You are meant to survive the change. So public sector used to survive change. You go through change, but you don't change. So at the end, then you survive the change. And after 5 years, your boss is on contract. As soon as the contract ends, his reform ends with him. And so he will leave, you remain. Because you are permanent and pensionable, he's on contract. So you just wait and say, okay, you will do what you want to do here, and then you leave. And that again was the challenge that we had in the public sector, the challenge of a culture. And that is why, and I'm sure you must have seen it all over, there's an African proverb that says that a cat that dreams of becoming a lion must lose its appetite for rats, isn't it? And that means to achieve greatness, you must let go of all the bits that could hold you back, and you will not be able to realize the progress that you want to achieve in the public sector, and which we are now changing. In fact, over the years now we have changed, as I think Chairman alluded to, the examples of Huduma Kenya and quite a number of programs now we at the Kenya School of Government is introducing. It is a testament to the realization of that culture change. And so therefore, one aspect, and which we are now looking at, is the agenda of the culture change in the public service. We must change the culture, the attitude, the behavior, the belief. And today the clarion call is, we at the Kenya School of Government, we are building the public service which is efficient, which is effective, which is citizen-centric, and fit for purpose for those public servants to deliver the services required as and when that services is required. Because for quite a while in the public sector, there are characters, and we normally describe them the way it was. But that has changed. One such character is the character we refer to as, in the public service today, like 5 years ago, when you introduce a change, the change is meant to be resisted. And that is why at that time, those people, we normally refer to them as antibodies. Antibodies because they resist anything that you say. Wherever you want to introduce a new change, they say, no, that cannot be done. It's impossible. Even Jesus Christ tried and he failed. They will give you an example of how even Jesus Christ failed. With all his miracles, how Muhammad failed, how all those people failed. Those are the people who used to defend them refusing to change by statistics. They say that even in 1974 we tried, we are unable to do all those kind of things. And so we normally refer to as antibodies. There are another character we normally refer to as 805. They normally report at 8, do 0 work, go home at 5. And they are normally referred to as 805. 5 years ago, that's what used to happen. And there are normally other characters we refer to as BMW. You report work, then what you normally do is that you blame, you mourn, you whine. That is your work. That is all that you must do. You blame everybody other than yourself. You mourn, you whine, you wonder why you are in that department, how you are being frustrated, how you are not making any progress, how it is impossible to live, to stay in this department. They normally refer to as BMWs. And then in the same department, we normally have people with PhDs. Pull him down, pull her down. The work is just to bring this other person down so that then you make no progress. Those are the characters that we had 5 years ago. The question therefore then was, how then can we change? And private sector, you institutionalize the culture of excellence. And in the public sector, we then tried because of the culture of resistance, BMWs, 805, PhDs, and people who have mentally disengaged, but they keep coming to work. How then do you deal with them? And they have mentally disengaged. They are not there, mentally, but physically they are present. And they report at 8, go home at 5, but ask them what they have achieved. They will tell you that this is the service, and in the service industry, you're not supposed to realize anything in as far as, customer service excellence is concerned. And yet, in 1974, I give you now an example how the Kenya assisted other countries. In 1974, first let me give a case of the Kenya School of Government. Kenya School of Government, where I am now, by next year, Kenya School of Government will be 100 years old. Started way back in 1925. Of course, I was not there. 1925, the name then was Jean School. We then trained Africans to assist, the European, those white, settlers at that time to realize their own, vision and so on and so forth. Then in 1961, as we now await, to get our independence, then Kenya Institute of Administration was established to prepare Africans to take over, the leadership. So we started a program, leadership, management, and so on and so forth, to prepare Africans to take over before then independence. And then we transited Kenya Institute of Administration, and in the year 2012, Kenya Institute of Administration became the Kenya School of Government now. And the reason why Kenya School of Government was established is to bring all the institutions in Kenya, building the capacity of public servants under one umbrella that we refer to as the Kenya School of Government. And the Kenya School of Government is the Kenya Vision 2030 flagship project, whose mandate is to contribute to the public sector reform, transformation, and the progress. Today, we are mandated to build the capacity of public servants on the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Our responsibility as a School of Government is to contribute toward the realization of the government agenda through the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. So again, as you can see, Kenya School of Government responsibility is to contribute toward realization of that big dream. So we've developed program, we've collaborated with various other institutions and so on and so forth. In 1974, therefore, we received delegates from Singapore at that time. In 1974, 12 Singaporeans came to Kenya Institute of Administration to learn how to develop policies, how to come up with programs of transformation. And then after 1 month, having looked at our policies, gone through various reforms and the program that we had, shared our own experiences, and so on and so forth, they went back. And it is what then brought about the transformation in the Singapore today. Singapore today, if you talk about Singapore in 1974 and today, is world apart. And you all know that. Then the question was, then what was the difference between the Kenya in 1974 today and the Singapore of 1974 today? And that is a culture I want us to now reflect on. There are 3 critical things that will bring about the change in any institution for as far as the customer service excellence experience is concerned. 1, and it is called 3H. I normally refer to it as a 3H. The first H is about head. Head, for the public servant, is meant for visioning. Envision the future of possibilities, progress, transformation, and holistic approach in bringing about the change that is required in the service. That is the purpose, and that is why the first H is called head. In your head, you must envision the future of possibilities, progress, and the transformation. That is critical. And us, African, I'll tell you for free, especially Kenyans, in terms of the Human Development Index, the competency, the capability, all this that you are looking at, we are way ahead of quite a number of other African countries. In fact, you'll be shocked to hear that Kenyans will go to another country, bring about the change in that country, but you can't do that in Kenya. The question is why? Could be a system, could be environment, and so therefore then that has changed over the years. I'll come to that. The first H is head, envision. You must vision the future of possibilities, progress, and the transformation. You must predict a future. You know, at that time, probably Singapore was looking at the year 2030 in 1974. And that is why the visioning for any, institution is critical. As you look at the year 2024, then a plan for the year 2034, 10 years from today, and that is the whole issue of visioning and so on and so forth. The second H is heart, and that is where the service is coming from. Heart is all about inspiring and giving people hope. Hope that tomorrow will be better. Hope that, we can be able to do better. It's not about the past, it's about today. And that is why, even in the Bible and the Quran, God didn't refer to the yesterday and tomorrow, he referred to today. Today is the day the Lord has made, isn't it? It's not about tomorrow, it's about today. And that is why hope, inspiration, in the service delivery, excellence is a buzzword. And that is critical. Giving people hope, inspiring them, giving them that confidence, giving them that ability to see tomorrow will be better. And that is why in the private sector, people are inspired, to see the future of possibilities. And for many years, public sector is completely different. People are not inspired. There's no hope. The only thing that you see and you watch is the future of impossibilities, difficulties, challenges. And that has been what then the public sector has been watching. And the worst thing about it is that we are watching a wrong channel for quite a while until we changed 5 years ago. The challenge is that you are watching a wrong channel. You know it is a wrong channel. You are the one with the remote control, but you are refusing to change the channel. And that is the difficult about the public sector. You switch on a wrong channel. Remember, there are options. There is channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4. But in our head, the only channel which is there is channel 1. You switch on channel 1, we start complaining. And we are the one with remote control. We don't want to change that channel. Channel of impossibilities and the progress. The moment you are watching a wrong channel, whether you are in the private sector or public sector, please get that remote control and change that channel. There are so many channels ahead, channel of possibilities and the progress. So, in the same way, in the private sector, therefore then before I come to the Singapore story, there are what I normally refer to as ABC of customer service excellence and the leadership transformation. A, and that is what is now driving the private sector agenda, and which we are also borrowing and driving the public sector agenda as well. A, attract yourself. Before you get attracted to someone else, the very critical foundation for the customer service excellence in the private sector, attract yourself. Get attracted to your own idea. The happiness is a choice. So choose to be happy, and therefore then you only give what you have. If you are not happy, then you can't pretend to smile to others. Because even the happiness, the moment you start faking, you'll expose yourself at one point. Because faking is not sustainable. You'll fake it for a while, and then you forget to pause. Then you'll expose yourself. So again, first A, attract yourself. If you don't get attracted to your own idea, if you don't get attracted to your own, future of possibilities, then don't expect the customers to get attracted to you because you are sad, you are always looking at impossible things, you are just looking at difficulties and the challenges. Please, for us to realize the customer excellence and great experience, get attracted to yourself. Look at that mirror and see that person, the persons of possibilities and the progress, and that is a critical thing. And that happens in the private sector. B, believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, don't expect other people to believe in you. The story you are explaining to a customer is where you have believed in that. Yourself, you believe in that story. Otherwise, if you are just reading, then definitely they'll know that you are reading. You don't believe in that story. And then what happens? You'll not sustain it. For customer service excellence to be institutionalized and sustained, please believe in yourself. Just wake up every day knowing that you will leave a legacy. I know you have capacity and capability to leave a legacy. There's a book written by Robin Sharma, a very good title, When You Die, Who Will Cry? And the issue is not about dying, the issue is not about crying, the issue is all about leaving a legacy. Because I keep telling people that there is no point in dying when you never lived. Because living is not about breathing. Living is all about leaving a legacy of customer service experience and the legacies. Don't just, pretend to offer the services. Let it be from the bottom of your heart. And that is very, very critical. So therefore then, believe in yourself. Believe that, there is possibility and the progress. Of course, sometimes you encounter customers who are difficult, but at that moment, you are believing in the future of possibilities. You believe in your own, kind of capacity and capability. Nothing will stop you. Run your own race at your own pace. You see, and it's a critical aspect, and you learn from your own experience. And finally, connect with yourself. The moment you realize then that at one moment, just sit back, appraise yourself, learn from your own experience, that is connecting with yourself. And that is at that moment when you can be able to connect with your own, with other customers. ABC is a critical agenda for us to bring about the transformation required in the service. So, coming to the experience of now, the Singapore, we trained them in 1974. They went back and they, reformed their countries. And today, we keep going back, to them for a benchmark. You go back there, you say, let's go there and learn from them. And the problem is that, you go there. The moment you benchmark against a practice, you will never succeed. Because, practice is a practice. But the moment you benchmark against, a set value and the standard, that is when you can sustain. Because, standard and the values is then the foundation. But the moment you benchmark against the practice, and that is what happened to one of our leaders from the county. He visited our neighbor here, Rwanda. So he realized, he learned, or he just made some observation, got some explanation. He learned that every end of the month, Rwandese are cleaning their town. And that was, that's kind of a culture they had. They sustained that culture for quite a while. It is not just a practice. It's a belief. It's a value, isn't it? It's those values. So that was inculcated in them, and it became part and parcel of what they do. And then he came back. He started doing exactly what Rwandese were doing, and he failed miserably because he was benchmarking against a practice, not against, again, the sustained system that we have. So they went back and made a difference, and over the years, we keep going back there, and so on and so forth. And I'm looking at the 3H. The first H I said is the head, that is the envisioning. The second is heart, now explaining to you where we failed. Heart is all about inspiration and hoping. And the last one, that is where we failed, is now what the other H is, the hand. And the hand is all about ensure agile execution of all your vision and the hoping and the inspiration and the policies that you have. If you don't implement, because the challenge you have in public service is the challenge of the implementation. We have wonderful policies, strategy. Every day we wake up developing wonderful strategies. In fact, even you, private sector, you don't have the wonderful strategies that you have in the public sector. We have super policies, strategies, guideline, framework, very nicely done, reflected on, benchmarked, against so many others, validated by so many people, contributed by scholars. And the only thing that we normally do in the public sector is that I keep telling them that we celebrate intentions, but no results. Because we develop a customer service strategy, what we normally do in the public sector, we celebrate the launch of the strategy, but not the results of the strategy. At the beginning, we celebrate that booklet. I mean, we produce them, we have t-shirts, it's written there, Customer Service Excellence Strategy, the year 2024 to 2027. What we are celebrating is the beginning or the launch of that strategy. Are there results there? No results. But what we are celebrating is intention, no results. For over years, that is what happened. And that was the culture that I was referring to. And the weak link was the implementation. What Singaporeans did in 1974, they went back and implemented our sessional paper number 1. They just implemented. The difference is that then they implemented as we file it away. We call it in the public service, file it away. Or we say, bring it up, in the file. And then the moment you bring it up, then you just say, take the necessary action. We are very good in the public service. TNA, I think you don't use those kind of things probably in the private sector. Take necessary action. That is now to the next person. And then the next person will also write and say, as, per number 1 there, please take necessary action. That is now to the second one. To the third, the same. To the fourth, until then, the whole letter is almost with 6, 7 comments. No action taken up to that point. We are just saying, take necessary action, and please review and advise. And the moment you advise, that is the end, because the only work required there is you to advise, and then you advise, there's no action taken. So therefore, then you say, now you write another letter making reference to the letter where you're supposed to take the necessary action, and then you say, please refer to letter reference this, dated this, on the above subject matter. And then now you continue, isn't it? These are my advice. Then you list it. Then the other person will now write to somebody else and say, please take note of, the recommendation made and take necessary action. And then the other person will now write another memo to say that this is how then the action should be taken, and you will write a memo to the next person, and so on and so forth. So that again, public sector, we are very, bureaucratic in terms of processes and so on and so forth. But that then, we realized that we can't keep going round. We must make progress. And that is why, as Kenya School of Government, for over the years, the program that we had, because if you go to 5, 6, 7, 8, or 10 years ago, if you visit any public institution or offices, we don't consider you as a customer. We consider you as you are a bother. You are just disturbing us. So you become a captive. You are not a customer. You are captive. You must go get passport. Anyway, you must go to immigration. So you have no otherwise. There's no any other option. So you go there, you plead, you sit down, you even fake being sick and so on and so forth, so that then you get sympathy. There's no sympathy. People will look at you and say, go to the hospital, because here is only passport that you give. And nobody will sympathize with you. So life goes on and goes on. And you will be referred, and those days, siku hizo lift haifanyi kazi. So unaambiwa, enter 22nd floor, get that form, then come to 7th floor, you get that signature and stamp, then go back to 14th floor. It's more of a gymnastic. It's like you are in gym, going round and getting the services. But for quite a while, therefore then, we realized we must deliver the quality services in the public sector. Quite a lot has changed over the years. Even the program we used to offer is called Customer Care and Public Relation. If you just even look at this wording, it's like you are acting. public relation. Then you stand there and behave like a public relation officer. Then public relation officer in government is like you behave. You act. You don't do it, but you act, and so on and so forth. Today, like 5 years ago, if you ask a professor whether students are his customers, he'll tell you no. They are not my customers. These are students. They're supposed to be punished. They're supposed to fail. They're supposed to be chased. They're supposed to be harassed. And yet, analipwa na hao watu. But he will not realize that as, again, a customer. So over the years, then, we realized that we must change the customer experience in the public sector. And that is why at the Kenya School of Government, we realized and we said that then let us collaborate with an institution such as, this wonderful Institute of Customer Service Experience, Kenya, for us then to create the appreciation for the word excellence, efficiency, effectiveness, and citizen-centric, fit for purpose, customer experience in the public service. And that is why 8 months ago, we at the Kenya School of Government, in collaboration with Huduma Kenya, because Huduma Kenya did quite a lot, transform the customer service in the public sector. They have very good, kind of customer feedback in terms of customer satisfaction survey, which was recently done. They are about 90% customer satisfaction level. So we said, why can't we replicate the Huduma Kenya experience in the private sector, in the public sector? So we had an MOU with the Huduma Kenya Secretariat, and today we will be training the entire public service on the whole issue of culture change, attitude, behavioral change, how to, respond. And then we also introduce such wonderful experience, what we call a mark of quality, where then you must go through a process for you then to get, to be recognized just like the ISO certification. We have such kind of a certification process in the now public sector, because we will partner with the like of Institute of Customer Service Experience, because you already have that experience. We will partner, because partnership is where then we'll now get more experience. So we have a center. Recently, Head of Public Service launched a center called Center for Customer Excellence and Experience, where then we will train the public service, including National Police Service. We'll be training the entire National Police Service so that they are citizen-centric, customer, centric, efficient, effective. 1 year from today, mark my word, you can visit any police station. The quality of the service you get will be equivalent to the service that you get in Equity, in other, training, private sector institution that is represented here. 1 year from today, you will go there. But some of you, I'm sure, you will have to wait. That kind of, let's wait and see. And we want to assure you that that kind of experience will be realized, and with collaboration, that we will then get into with the Institute of Customer Service Experience, I'm sure, and celebrating excellence such as this, then we will be able to change the face of the public service from being bureaucratic. And I'm sure some of you in the private sector says that people in the public sector are inefficient, very ineffective, corrupt, all those bad verbs that you can use. They are so slow, they don't deliver services, but a lot of things have changed. And a year from today, I want to, not 1 year, probably 2 years. 2 years from today, I will dare you visit any police station and then compare the service today and the service then, because we will change the face of the customer experience. As part of this initiative, therefore, then, as I conclude, we at the Kenya School of Government, then Customer Service Excellence Center was established at the school and inaugurated by Head of Public Service. This center aims to strengthen the capacity of customer service excellence, that we offer targeted programs for executives, senior managers, line officers and technical officers. I encourage you to partner, Chairman Joseph Choge, I challenge you to or encourage you to partner with the school to train, the public service on this essential aspect, allowing us to jointly foster a culture of excellence across the country. As a school of government, we also have a footprint in Africa. We have signed an MOU with about 27 African countries through their schools of government. By end of the year, I think 2026, 2027, we'll have signed an MOU with all 54 African countries and also with some of other training institutions out there, including Harvard Kennedy School of Government, which we are now very soon will be signing an MOU with, Stanford, Columbia University, and also quite a number of other institutions out there. Our intention is to become the Africa School of Government, where we will support the implementation and the realization of the Africa Agenda 2063, the clarion call, the Africa that we want. As the school, we are proud to be associated with this truly inspiring event that champions excellence in the customer service, and we look forward to a future of collaboration in this transformational journey. In closing, let me extend my heartfelt congratulations to all the winners across various categories tonight. May your dedication to excellence inspire those around you to join in this noble pursuit. And I keep saying this, that, all of us, whether we are at the lowest of the lowest in that ladder or we are the highest CEOs, please let us make a difference. Because there's also an African proverb that says that if you think you are too small to make a difference, then you have not spent a night with a mosquito. And you know how small is a mosquito. And I have no doubt that we all have capacity and capability to do that. And we will collaborate to realize that. Thank you, and may God continue blessing you and continue doing such a wonderful job. Thank you so much.